You're singing it for fun? Or?
Warming up the voice. Part of the deal, you have to do it every day.
Really? What do I know? Okay, I sort of know. Good Shabbos, everyone. Good to be together as a community. We're live now. Good to see you online. Help us become a community. Find someone you're sitting near who you may or may not know. Online, tell us where you're watching from, that you're here with us. Introduce yourself and wish one another a good Shabbos.
Bim bam, bim 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 bam, bim 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 bam, yai da 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 bim bam, bim 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 bam, bim 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 bam. Shabbat shalom, Shabbat shalom. Shabbat, 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 Shalom. Shabbat, Shalom. Shabbat, Shalom. Shabbat, 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 Shalom. Shabbat, 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 Shalom. Shabbat,
Shabbat, Shabbat, Shabbat,
Shalom.
Shabbat, Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom, Shabbat, 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 Shalom. Bim bam, bim 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 bam, bim 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 bam, yai da 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 bim bam, bim 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 bam, bim 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 bam. Shabbos.
Help us rekindle our Shabbos candles as we prepare for Shabbat. Give me thanks for this moment as I throw curveballs to Cantor and she's not sure what the order of the service will be. I changed things on her. But we'll talk about Israel tonight as we'll send our friends who are going to Israel on Sunday to begin a quick solidarity trip together and offer a blessing for us as we embark in that. But right now, we light our Shabbos candles, reminding ourselves as we bring more light into the world, we light a third candle as well for those who are still held hostage, who don't have the privilege, the opportunity to light a Shabbat candle and experience the joy and community that we do at this time.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kitshanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu lehadlik ner shel
So as we prepare for our Shabbos worship, our time together, it's a CAYA service tonight, a relaxed service, come as you are service, an opportunity just to be present, to meditate, to relax, to enjoy some time together as a community, but to reflect on what matters in our world, in our lives, in our time together. To remind ourselves of what really we can focus on. So much of our week is filled with stories that bring us angst and pain and challenge and sadness. And this moment of Shabbat, this day, is to be a time to refresh ourselves, to wake ourselves up to the reality that things, in the midst of difficulties, we can find blessings in our world. I was thinking, preparing for Shabbat, the reality of what awaits us in the upcoming week. And it's not before next Shabbat, it's before, 10 days from now, on April 7th, we'll be observing potentially the total eclipse that will hover over us and experience that together. I guess we only can see 90% if we're here in Michigan, in this part of Michigan. I don't know, it's an A-, right? It's not that bad. My mom would tell me, it's a 90, Michael, that's not good enough. But nonetheless, that's why I'm in therapy. But still, 90% is a lot, and that's sort of cool. But I was reading Annie Dillard, and for those who don't know Annie Dillard, her Pilgrim on Tinker Creek and her book of Timelessness, her poetry has always been a blessing in my life. And she saw a total eclipse in 1979. In her book, Teaching a Stone to Talk, she wrote an essay about the eclipse. And she said, what you see in a total eclipse is entirely different from that which you know. It's especially different for those of us whose grasp of astronomy is so frail that given a flashlight and a grapefruit and 2 oranges and 15 years, we still could not figure out which way to set the clocks for daylight savings time. Usually it's a bit of a trick to keep your knowledge from blinding you, but during an eclipse, it's easy. What you see is much more convincing than any wild-eyed theory you may know. The sky's blue is deepening, but there is no darkness. The sun was a wide crescent like a segment of a tangerine. The wind freshened and blew steadily over the hill. The eastern hill across the highway grew dusk and sharp. The towns and orchards in the valley to the south were dissolving into blue light. Only a thin band of river held a spot of sun. Now the sky to the west deepened to indigo, a color never before seen. A dark sky usually loses color. It was saturated deep indigo up in the air. I turned back to the sun, and it was going. The sun was going, and the world was wrong. We think we know what's supposed to happen in nature. We seem to understand at times. But we think of medical science and what we maybe were told as children and how far that's transitioned to what we've learned today and what we understand to be truth in the moment. But for our children, our grandchildren, maybe that will be different as well. An eclipse is that reminder that we understand certain things, but we still don't. And sometimes, the radiance of the sun, which gives us hope, can be blocked from us as well. Martin Buber has an essay, Martin Buber is one of the greatest philosophers in Judaism of the 20th century, and in his essay, he talks about the eclipse of God. And his essay is understanding the Holocaust, the Shoah, and where people say, where was God? How could evil exist in our world? And he said, it's like an eclipse of the sun. We still know the sun is there on April 7th. If we go to Cleveland or Nashville, if we go to see the total eclipse, we still know the sun's there, but it's gone for a moment from our sight. And he said, in the eclipse of God, in a moment such as the Holocaust or October 7th, in a moment such as that, we know there's still goodness in our world, but for a moment, it's eclipsed from us. So what do we have to do? We have to still find hope in those around us that radiate that goodness into our world. So as we prepare for this seeming miracle in nature in 10 days, I'm telling the story today because I'll be in Israel this next week, and when you see me next Friday, I may not be awake, even though I'll be looking like this and talking. So it's 4 days or so in Israel and no sleeping, I think, or 3 days. I don't know what we're doing. But the idea is I wanted us to prepare for the eclipse, this natural phenomenon with a newness of reality in our world, to remind us of our responsibility that we don't have to understand everything to know that there will always be goodness here too, and that we have responsibility to bring that into our world as well. So as we meditate to begin Shabbat today, think on that. Maybe close your eyes for a moment now and take a deep breath, breathing in God's gift to each and every one of us, breathing out our gift to this world. Think of the image of what an eclipse can look like, or a partial eclipse where that sun and the rays peek through, and what that can mean for us in A moment that gets cool, but we can still understand warmth is there, that we're safe, that we are okay, even when we don't understand everything around us.
Every second, every minute, every hour, every day, everything, everyone, every place, every way, where you walk, where you stand, where you love and where you pray. All of life is holy ground. Every he, every she, every what and every who. It's in her, it's in them, it's in me, it's in you. In the bitter and the sweet, in the calm, in the storm. All of life is holy ground. So walk as if it's holy ground. Breathe as if it's all around. Talk and make the holy sound. Take your shoes off, you're on holy ground.
Annie Dillard writes, the mind wants to live forever, or to learn a very good reason why not. The mind wants the world to return its love or its awareness. The mind wants to know all the world and all eternity and even God. The mind's sidekick, however, will settle for 2 eggs over easy. The dear, stupid body is easily satisfied as a spaniel. And incredibly, the simple spaniel can lure the brawling mind to its dish. It's everlasting funny that the proud, metaphysically ambitious, clamoring mind will hush if you give it an egg. But while the mind reels in deep space, while the mind grieves or fears or exalts, workday senses, like so many computer terminals printing our market prices while the world blows up, can still transcribe their little data and transmit them to a warehouse in our skull. It's a remarkable reality. We were born at a stroke. Enough is enough. One turns at last, even from glory itself, with a sigh of relief. From the depths of mystery, from the heights of splendor, we bounce back and hurry for latitudes of home amidst the unknown.
So walk as if it's holy ground. Breathe as if it's all around. Talk and make a holy sound. Take your shoes off, you're on holy ground. When you hurt, when you heal, when you laugh, when you pray, when you doubt, when you keep, when you give it away. Every second, every minute, every hour, every day. All of life is holy ground. Can't you feel the holy ground? Take your shoes off, you're on holy ground.
And so with that perspective, can we join formally in our prayers? As if you'd like to use a prayer book, we begin with the Baruch Hu, I think on page 16 or 19. I don't know, somewhere in there. But there's no need. You can just hum or sing along as well. And if we're so able, we can rise together for the call to worship our Baruch Hu.
בכל לבבך ובכל נפשך ובכל מאודך, והיו הדברים האלה אשר אנוכי מצווך היום על לבבך, ושיננתם לבניך ודיברת בם בשבתך בביתך ובלכתך בדרך ובשוכבך ובקומך, וקשרתם להיות על ידיך, והיו לטוטפות בין עיניך, וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובשעריך, למען תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצוותיי, והייתם קדושים לאלוהיכם. אני אדוני אלוהיכם, אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים, להיות לכם לאלוהים. אני אדוני אלוהיכם.
How often do we give ourselves a gift? Give ourselves a moment that can just be where we can be present in the busyness and the hecticness and the things that stress us during our weeks, we rarely pause just to reflect. We rarely just let ourselves be present in a moment. But we've all chosen this now. Tradition says it's mandated for us as Jews to be here on Shabbat, to recognize a Sabbath, not to work on this day. Yet we know reality in our own community, in our own friends, our own family, and all of us aren't here every single week as well. So this is not a guilt, this is not an arm twist, it's just a reality of knowing who we are. And that's okay, but tonight, what's good is that we can recognize we've given ourselves a gift. We have that gift in our life of being present in this moment, of appreciating the blessing of our breath, of being a part of something beyond ourselves, and the privilege of that as well. And I think the prayer Hashkivenu that we sing, that says, let us lie down in peace, God, permit us to wake up in security of knowing that we're safe and loved, be a shield around us, keep enemies, disease, violence, homelessness, hunger far away from those we love, is saying, I'm in this moment, in the present, and I want to appreciate those blessings. Yes, the sound of a 4-month-old baby who wants to say amen really loudly. It's always good. And the blessing of noticing, recognizing, feeling, and connecting. And saying, you know, I gave myself this gift right now, so why can't I give myself this gift tomorrow as well? And the next day. Maybe it's not Shabbat, but it's still, I can give myself a few moments to just be present. Despite the challenges and the stresses, to be present and to say, I have my breath, my life, my soul.
Let there be love and understanding among us. Let peace and friendship be our shelter from life's storms. Let there be love and understanding among us. Let peace and friendship be our shelter from life's storms. Hashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu. Hashkivenu Lishalom. Lehamidenu Malkeinu Lechaim. Ufros Aleinu Sukkot Shlomecha. Let there be love and understanding among us. Let peace and friendship be our shelter from life's storms. Be our shelter from life's storms. Be our shelter from life's storms.
In a conversation this week in a class here at Temple, Tea Talk and Torah, we were discussing the Torah portion of the week, the Parshat Tzav, which means, the idea of a command that God spoke to Moses and commanded, and it's filled with the 5 sacrifices that are commanded for the people of Israel. From the burnt offering to the guilt offering, the sin offering, the thanksgiving offering, and the idea, the whole offering. what these sacrifices for our ancestors meant. And our feeling of thank God we don't make these sacrifices and sprinkle the blood of the animals in the corners of the altar. And as grotesque as it sounds, it was. And when the temple was destroyed, the rabbis of old, who were the Pharisees, were the descendants of their tradition, said, we don't have to only pray in Jerusalem at the temple. That's the only place you can make sacrifices, but we can take our prayers with us. Instead of sacrifice of animals, we can sacrifice our heart. Avodah Shebalev, the sacrifice of the heart, which is the prayer. And literally, it's the time, 586 BCE, when the first temple was destroyed by the Babylonians. Our ancestors carried into Babylonian slavery when this prayer, the Amidah, the Avot V'imahot, parts of it were first created. And the rabbi said our sacrifice can be our prayers. It's not about being at a temple and the altar in Jerusalem and sacrificing this animal or this wheat or this grain offering, but it can be the prayers, our intentions. And then we talked about this one rabbi in Pirkei Avot in the Talmud said, don't ever let your prayer get so fixed that you forget what the intent of it is. We always chant this prayer, the Avot V'imahot. But some of us follow a prayer book. Some of us just listen to the cantor sing. Some of us think of our own prayers. The idea is it's to lift us into something else, to think about what we care about most, what matters most, what we need to do in our lives, in our world, and what Shabbat can bring to us as well. And so we live this Torah portion even though we don't make sacrifices of animals or grain, and we don't have an altar, and God doesn't smell the sweet smells of the burnt offerings. Thank God. We instead offer prayers. And we have tradition that gives us prayers that our ancestors, our parents, grandparents, great-grandparents, and generations before have said. But we create our own as well in the midst of those as we read between those lines. So let us take a moment for our own prayer. Maybe close our eyes for a moment as we silently first begin the Amidah, the central prayers of worship. And either take those own words of our hearts that might be prompted, or those we can read, or those of tradition. And then together we'll join as a community in our central prayers of worship. Rise together for the Amidah.
Adonai, Sefetai tiftachu fi yagid hilatecha. Eternal God, open up my lips that my mouth may declare your glory. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu, ve'Elohei avoteinu ve'imotenu, אלוהי אברהם, אלוהי יצחק, ואלוהי יעקב, אלוהי שרה, אלוהי רבקה, אלוהי לאה, ואלוהי רחל. האל הגדול, הגיבור והנורא, אל עליון, גומל חסדים טובים, וקונה הכל, וזוכר חסדי אבות ואימהות, ומביא גאולה לבני בניהם, למען שמו ויהבה, מלך עוזר ומושיע ומגן. ברוך אתה אדוני, מגן אברהם בעזרת שרה. אתה גיבור לעולם אדוני, מחיי הכל אתה רב להושיע. משיב הרוח ומוריד הגשם, מכלכל חיים בחסד, מחיי הכל ברחמים רבים, סומך נופלים ורופא חולים, ומתיר אסורים, ומקיים אמונתו לשני עפר. מי כמוך בעל גבורות, ומי דומה לך, מלך ממית ומחיה, ומצמיח ישוע, ונאמן אתה להחיות הכל. ברוך אתה אדוני, מחיה הכל. אתה קדוש ושמך קדוש, וקדושים בכל יום יעללוך סלה. ברוך אתה אדוני, האל הקדוש.
Please be seated. I'm going to invite some friends up. I'm sort of mixing it up right now. 15 of us at Temple Shir Shalom, or actually 16 of us are going to Israel on Sunday. And a quick solidarity mission. And as some of you have heard me say, I asked friends in Israel, and I give our president, Allison Parr, credit for this. Actually, I'll call my friends up right now. So Allison Parr and Michael Regenstein and David Lauer and Gary Schumann, I think are the, will you guys come on up with me right now? So they're all going, did I miss anyone who's here? There's a group of us, like I said, 15 of us, 16 of us going to Israel. Yeah, Michael, come on up. So, and so we want to offer our blessing. And it's a solidarity trip that we're doing. I asked a friend of mine in Israel, like, should we come? Allison, our president, her brother is celebrating his 60th birthday, and he wanted to do something special for his birthday, and he wanted to go. He thought it would be nice to go with the temple community. And so talking to a friend in Israel, I said, I feel a little like voyeuristic going right now. It's a weird time. I know our federation, thank God, has been offering solidarity missions. And so my friend in Israel said, no, it's good to come. We feel very alone in this world right now. And we need your love and your hugs. And that means a lot. And we also need you to see the reality on the ground to bring that message back home. So we threw a net out there to see who might want to come. And 14 of us from Temple Shir Shalom are going together, along with Rabbi Stephen Moskowitz, who happens to be my older brother, and some members from his congregation too. So we have a tradition at Temple. When we're blessed to go to Israel, we need to bring blessings. And there's a tradition that when you're bringing tzedakah, you're a shliach tzedakah, a messenger of that commandment of tzedakah. And so that means you're protected on your journey there and on your journey home. So for each of us, and by the way, well, everyone but David's traveled with me to Israel. So, right, yeah, already, before. So, $2 bill, and here's the Shir Shalom thing. And Daniel Schwartz, of blessed memory, taught me this. And so we always do it this way at Temple Shir Shalom. You take your $2 bill and you fold it once, and you fold it another time, second time, you fold it a third time, and you fold it a fourth time. So why 4 times do you fold it? That where the Jews are to come back to Israel from the 4 corners of the earth, right? We're to reunite as a people there. So from the four corners, we come together. But the idea is that we're protected on our journey to Israel, and we leave this tzedakah in Israel, whether we give it to someone who's asking on the street or to an organization that we are going to. We actually are bringing with us a check for $7,200 from Temple Shir Shalom because people have donated to this cause. We're going to the Lowenstein Rehabilitation Hospital for Soldiers. And to go there, you bring a donation, and they ask for a minimum donation of $1,500. And so we've invited congregants to do that, and that's how much money has come in from Temple Shir Shalom. So we're doing that. We're giving money to Kibbutz Be'ali, one of the kibbutzim on the border with Gaza that was ambushed on October 7th. I think 60-something individuals in the kibbutz were murdered, 40-something were taken hostage that day. And so we're bringing money to them so they can help rebuild their kibbutz as well. We're going to Hostage Square in Tel Aviv, where the families of the hostages are gathering every single day and relentlessly praying and asking for help from the world and from the Israeli government to help bring the hostages home as well. We'll be going to Jerusalem, and as Michael's requested, to the Kotel. God willing, we'll be there on Monday evening and offering our prayers there as a community too. So it's a special trip, but you know, as a synagogue for Rabbi Daniel, Cantor, me, it's part of our mission to bring people to Israel, to be in Israel. It's not a time to recruit for trips, right? We're supposed to have a trip in December, a family trip going that we've had the privilege of experiencing together, but families with kids aren't signing up for trips to Israel. We'll have a teen mission to Israel this summer with Rabbi Daniel, and we can't do those trips right now. But this is meaningful, and this means something. So thank you for wanting to do this. We have 10 more from Shir Shalom who are with us. 6 of them are already in Israel now. Wanted to go. Some have family in Tel Aviv or spending Shabbat together, maybe 7 of them. So that's really a blessing as well. But you represent the rest of the group. You're my favorites from the entire group as well, actually. So I'm glad you guys came. But we should be blessed on our journey. It should be a journey that next week when we're here together, we bring back the stories of Israelis, of their strength, of their determination, and the need of our community's connection with them too. And we should be protected on our journey. We say, Baruch atah b'voecha, blessed in our going out. Baruch atah b'tzetecha, blessed be our coming in. And so that we'll come back with these stories and with our own strength, and that we should get through this intense and important trip that will be a part of who we are as individuals and our community for the rest of our lives. Amen. I've asked you all to come and help us read our prayers. So as we've done each Shabbos since October 7th, you can say it here with me, that we offer additional prayers for the state of Israel, for the soldiers of Israel, and for the hostages as well. So Alison will first, Gary's got the prayer for the state of Israel first.
Rock of Israel and our salvation, bless the state of Israel, first fruit of the flourishing of our redemption. Guard her in the abundance of your love. Spread over her the shelter of your peace. Send forth your light and truth to those who lead and judge her, that they may walk in the way of justice, freedom, and integrity. Strengthen the hands of those who guard our holy land, and let them inherit salvation and life. And give peace to the land and continuous joy to the inhabitants, and soon fulfill the vision of your prophet. Nation shall not lift up sword against nation. Let them learn no longer the ways of war. And let us say, Amen. Amen.
David, if you'll come and read the prayer for the soldiers of the IDF of Israel. Let's just do the English.
Sure. Merciful God, who blessed our ancestors, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, Sarah, Rebekah, Leah, and Rachel, send your blessings to the soldiers of the Israeli Defense Forces, who stand guard over our homeland Israel, on land, in the air, and on the sea. May the source of strength preserve and rescue our soldiers. May every trouble and distress and from every plague and illness, I'm sorry, I messed that up. And may God send blessing and success in their every endeavor. May God bless our soldiers with wisdom, understanding, and insight. May God grant them salvation and crown them with glory. And let us say, Amen. Amen.
Thank you. And Allison, do the prayer for the hostages who are still held in Gaza.
May God be merciful of our fellow Jews who wander over sea or land, or who suffer captivity, persecution, and imprisonment. May God soon bring them relief from distress and deliver them from the darkness into light, from subjugation into redemption. And let us say, Amen.
Amen. Thank you.
Safe journey.
Right. And I haven't told my friends who are going to Israel with me, but you may have seen it announced yesterday in our temple announcements that on April 7th, Sunday evening, well, April 8th is the actual, sorry, I was wrong. My mind, yeah. April 8th is the eclipse. I'm glad if you drove to Cleveland on April 7th, you'll wait for 24 hours. But nonetheless, April 7th is an important day, being the 6-month anniversary of October 7th. And we're marking that day here at Temple with a special program. And the program will entail those of us who've just been to Israel sharing what we understand and seen. Our Israeli Shinshanim, our Israeli 19-year-olds who are with us this entire year, their experiences. Lior, our community shlicha, young woman who's here with her family representing Israel. She'll be teaching about the current state in Israel, talking about the language we use and nuance and the challenges around that, as well as and you'll choose which of these discussions you want to be a part of. And then at 7:30, we'll gather in the sanctuary for a Havdalah and a prayer vigil, linking ourselves with Israel as well. So we hope you can join us on April 7th, Sunday night, April 7th at 6 o'clock. And so that was sent out to all of you. So with these prayers in mind, so do we also turn our prayers to a Mishaberach, a prayer of healing, thinking of those in our own congregation now who are in need of healing and strength, friends and family who we link ourselves with now as well, as we rise together.
May the source of strength who bless the ones before us help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing, and let us say
Of our family and friends, Alyssa Oyoto and Bob Alpiner, Amy Drysdale Atler, Deborah Bentley, Carol Berg, Michael Brody, Chris Burke, Karen Kasman, Alan Kessel, Patty Seresny, Richard Colton, Randy Diamond, Ann Gotro, Richard Gotro, Paul Glazer, Marty Gold, Batia Shapanina, Eva Haber-Kornholm, Taya Hall, Donna Marie Hawk, Leon Klein, Scott Klein, CAYA Aviva Bafegula, Karen Coltono, Marta Lazar, Alan Lieberman, Alan Lippett, Zoe Marcus, Gary Martin, Len Meiji, Gail Mintz, Caleb Ben Ba'ami, Lori Nosenchuk, Louise Oram, Rezo Batlea Miriam, Carolyn Peterson, Barbara Pollack, Eileen Porcelli, Daniel Pusta, Rachami Beit Chaim Bachava, Marcy Fisher-Reiners, Leslie Riggs, Laura Rosso, the St. Amman family, Stephen Siegel, Michael Schulman, Roberta Sonino, Susanna Stern, Len Turman, Karen Thompson, Stuart Thompson, Dot Vernan, and all the names in our hearts, especially as we think of the 6,000 Israeli soldiers physically injured since October 7th terrorist attack, and all those in Israel and throughout the world emotionally hurting and in need. Baruch atah Narafal Chalim. Bless you, God, give strength to those in need.
Bless those in need לתת גדולה ליוצר בראשית, שלא עשנו כגויי הארצות, ולא שמנו כמשפחות האדמה, שלא שם חלקנו כהם, וגורלנו ככל המונם, ואנחנו קוראים מלך מלכי המלכים הקדוש ברוך הוא, ונאמר והיה אדוני למלך על כל הארץ. ביום ההוא יהיה אדוני אחד, ושמו
The Kaddish may be understood as a praise for the gift of life and love and thought, a reminder of all that came before us, a testament to psalmists and sages, poets and prophets of our people who made our life and our faith possible. It's a celebration of our past and our present and our future. Though it never mentions death, it's a reminder of all the friendships we have cherished and the memories we've shared. Even in the most painful times, the Kaddish is our statement of faith. So this time in our prayers, our thoughts turn to those taken from our midst in this past month through Shloshim we mark, friends and family of our community, Barbara Becker, Paul Contour, Harry Kogan, as well as the 251 soldiers of the IDF in Israel killed defending our homeland and working to bring home the Israeli hostages, and the over 1,200 Israeli family and friends whose lives were lost in the terrorist attack of October 7th. Linking their names and names whose yortzites we mark on the Shabbat, those anniversary of passing we lovingly commemorate: Stuart Allen, Marvin Barkin, Kathleen Kumiel, Elizabeth Clamage, Barry Cohen, Gary D'Incenzo, Harry Eisenstein, Lillian Elfman, Rose Ernstein, Lily Farkas, Nathan Felsenfeld, Leonard Fiddler, Maurice Frankel, Stephen Gautreau, Jean Gorman, Joseph Grossman, June Gerwin, Helen Harris, Lillian Hollander, Bernice Jacobson, Morton Kaplan, Irene Cash, Sam Katz, Donald Kornspan, Tilly Cronin, Jan Landsberg, Phyllis Lenhoff, Beth Sachs Lenser, George Lesser, Tilly Linden, Ronald McCaskill, Anton Masiak, Renee Mahler, Rose Meiji, Carol Metzger, Elaine Mitchell, Richard Nadler, Judy Narens, George Pantzer, Jose Polper, Kay Roshdi, Milton Resnick, Al Rowan, Elise Rounds, Marilyn Rosner, Marilyn Rowans, Eddie Reich, Tilly Sakwa Nussbaum, Sander Schiff, Robert Schwartz, John Shepard, Beverly Siegel, Edith Snyder, Neil Sobel, Dolores Theodore, Ruth Volker, George Whitus, Bernice Wolf, Ida Zichholz, Albert Ziff, Leon Zolkauer. And linking their names to all the names that we did not recite on this Shabbat, those of every faith and family, those whose lives have touched ours, as well as those of no one to stand and say Kaddish for them. So do we join together in the immortal words of the mourner's Kaddish as found on page 46 of our prayer books, as we join together now in words of Kaddish. Yikadal v'yikadash shemei Rabbah bi'alma divra chirate bi'almich malchute b'chayechon u'vyomechon u'chayedechol beit Yisrael v'agala u'bizman kariv imru Amen. Yehei shmei Rabbah mavarach alam amaya yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitramam v'yitnaseh Binadar, bin Alev, bin Alal, Shemed Kudusha, Brechu. Ve'elamin ko birchata v'shirata, tushbechata v'nechamata, ta'ram b'yama v'imru. Amen. Yehi Shlomo Rab Amin Shemaya, v'chaim aleinu v'yal kol Yisrael v'imru. Amen. Oseh shalom b'mramav, hu ya'aseh shalom, aleinu v'yal kol Yisrael v'imru. Amen. The source of peace, and peace to those who mourn, comfort to those who are bereaved here and everywhere. And let us say, Amen.
Oseh shalom b'mramav, hu ya'aseh shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael ve'imru amen. Ya'aseh shalom, ya'aseh shalom, shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael. Ya'aseh shalom, ya'aseh shalom, shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael.
Everyone?
Shabbos, Rabbi.
So a few things to announce as well. Yes, we're going to Israel, some of us. We'll be planning more trips like that. We may have a solidarity mission over the summer. We'll see who might be interested in that, so let us know if that's something that you're thinking of too. Some things that are on the horizon for us at Temple. A new program, our first-time parent posse. First time we're doing this, but it's also for first-time parents. Parents are in the first year of being a parent with a new child, and so we'll be doing that. Begins on April 1st, on Monday. Contact Temple Office on Monday if you haven't signed up and you want to. It's going to be an intimate group, but a great thing with doctors and other informed professionals to help you in your new journey of being a parent. Because none of us know what we're doing, and so you can teach us. A program called What's in a Jewish Name for those who don't have a Hebrew name and would like one or aren't sure about theirs. We're teaching a class twice. Rabbi Daniel will be teaching it on Monday, April 1st Tuesday, April 2nd at noon. I'll be teaching it on Monday, April 8th at 5 p.m. after the total eclipse. So that's two options. If you don't have a name, you can come to learn about how we choose names. Choose the Hebrew name for yourself. And then on Friday night, April 12th, that Friday night service, we're doing a naming dedication for those who never received their name. We'll hold you like a baby and give you your name. No, we won't. But we'll still talk about our Hebrew names, and you'll be really special and cool. And it's a great oneg that night, too. I know the Tigers won their first game. I mean, I know the season started, and so that feels sort of remarkable, but with the real start of the season, we're having on April 12th our annual, I just made this up, our beer, baseball, and Bamba Shabbat, Bamba being the snack of Israel. I don't know why I threw it. I think it's peanuts, Bamba, peanuts. And so that's why. But it will be a nice oneg. It's also a young family service. Well, no, it's a Shabbat, what is it called? Shabbat camp service. So young families can come and we take away your children, and young parents can, your child's too young, like 3 to 10-year-olds, right? And that you parents get to stay here and relax and enjoy services with the rest of us adults, or people who sort of try to act like adults. I'm not very good at that. I told you about April 7th, our program Finding Hope in the Darkness, in the midst of what's going on in Israel, but the 6-month anniversary. Come commemorate that here with us at 6 o'clock. And then on Tuesday, April 9th, we have a program, Modern Loss, an evening of community and candid conversation about loss with Rebecca Sofer, an author. That's her book. And her book's really a great guide for those who are in the midst of loss, grieving, whether it's this past year or 10 years ago or 20 years ago, and the different stages. She'll be on the bima here with me teaching, and with my friend Rabbi Kaluzny from Temple Israel. So it's a program we're doing with both Reboot and The Well and Temple Israel and Temple Shir Shalom. Wow, the world hasn't collapsed. We're all together in this. Isn't this nice? Here at Temple Shir Shalom. So that's cool. And then Gerhard Nodell, the creator of the beautiful tapestry and window, is opening up a studio for us on April 20th. That's Saturday after services, lunch at 12:30, and then right in Pontiac, and then right afterwards, a tour of his studio. So really a cool thing for those of us who've been blessed to spend time with Gerhard Nodell. He's a genius as an artist, but the way he expresses things, talks about this artwork that he's done for us, but his new stuff he's working on is always special. Thanks to Marilyn Finkel-Brown, who's organized that. So it's all been online. You can see more, but sign up for that so you can join us for lunch and to meet Gerhard Nodell and learn about his studio. I could go on. That's only like half the things. There's more, but I'm not going to talk anymore. Questions of Tish. Anything that's on your mind, or just have a kiddish and let's go and have a nosh. No questions? You're like all silence. I've talked too much today. 728. What's that?
The window on the wall.
The stained glass. Yeah.
Are we looking at the new building?
Are you looking at the new building from there? No. Can you see the new building through that? No. Because the new building's like there. Oh, yeah? No. So, yeah, the new addition, the 9,000 square feet that hopefully our children will be in on April 7th for Sunday school is that way. Right? Yeah, it's sort of there, right? So I'm very excited to be getting our certificate of occupancy hopefully this week. So we had our preliminary ones this week, and they wanted some new exit signs and things like that. Easy things for us to take care of, so we're almost there. Almost there. And we still have chairs as well that people can dedicate if you like to name a chair. I think 70 people have done that already, right? Right. But right, outside in the patio there or in the new sacred space. So all opportunities as well. That's really cool. Well, we give thanks for the sweetness of this day, our joy of Shabbat, as we rise together and we join with Cantor.
Baruch atah Adonai,
Eloheinu
melech haolam, borei peri hagafen. Amen. L'chaim.
And sing together and ask God's blessing upon us all.
Yevarechecha Adonai v'yishmerecha.
May God bless you. May God protect you.
Yair Adonai panav elecha v'choneka.
May God's light shine upon you and be good to you.
Yisa Adonai panav elecha v'yasem lecha shalom.
May God always be a part of who we are as individuals, as a community, as a congregation, as a people. May God bless us with all of our hopes. Most of all, may God bless us with shalom, peace in our heart, our mind, giving us the strength to bring more peace into our world.
V'yasem lecha
Shalom.
Shabbat.
Good Shabbos, everyone.
Good Shabbos, everyone.